Yes guys, it's only been a couple of hours since I last saw you with 10 things that we learn. It's Christmas, which means Premier League football is aplenty. We've got another wonderful concoction of games coming up here for you, and it's Premier League predictions again. It's going to be tough to predict these ones because during the Christmas period, there's so much football being played in such a small space of time. Injuries, changes to squads and formation. Some teams that might be playing the bigger teams might just be like, for the sake of not getting injuries, we'll see this one as a free hit and field a stronger side. So there could be some big scorelines tonight, considering fitness and everything else. But without any further ado, I do want to ask you to subscribe to GBFC 2 if you're new around here. And let's get into the first game, which is Crystal Palace versus Leicester. An interesting one, because Leicester have been in good form. Palace have been conceding a lot of goals, and Leicester away from home can actually be very lethal at times. So I think it could be a struggle for Crystal Palace. The only thing I would say is Leicester have been inconsistent. They've been in good form recently. They're back up in the top four. I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park for them. I think Leicester will get the results, but it could be a bit closer than it has been for Palace in recent games. Palace 1, Leicester City 2. Now the big one for me is at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea versus in-form Aston Villa. Free scoring Villa, clean sheet Aston Villa. Very good Premier League side. And of course there will be the preview out on the main GBFC channel where I go into a lot more detail about this game for Chelsea. So I'll keep it short and sweet so that we can focus on the other teams. Chelsea have got to get a win here, and I think they will, just because we do still have the quality despite the performances being a bit shoddy in recent weeks. 2-1 Chelsea. I'm not confident. Another massive game at the top of the table is Everton versus Manchester City. Everton have won 4 on the spin. City are ticking over at the moment. They're not setting the world alight with free scoring, attacking, flowing football. They do look as though they've kind of lost a little bit of the intensity that we've seen from them under Guardiola. As for Everton, they're winning games, playing some nice stuff. They're also defending very well. They look organised. And I think there could be a surprise in this one. Although if you look at the table, it's not necessarily that big of a surprise. I think Everton are going to go 5 wins in a row, seriously putting themselves in contention for a title challenge. And I think they'll win this one 2-1. We've gone with 2-1 in every game so far, but I think Everton have got enough quality, with Ancelotti in charge as well, 2 of the best managers in the world in both him and Guardiola. But I think Everton could get the result here. 2-1 to the boys in blue from Merseyside. We move into the games that are on Tuesday for you lot, Wednesday for me here in Bali. Brighton versus Arsenal. This is a nice one for Arsenal. I think Brighton have been poor recently. I'm not impressed with the way they're playing whatsoever. They got a good result at West Ham, 2-2 draw. Arsenal were good in the game against Chelsea. I've watched it back again. I always watch Chelsea games back, the full 90 minutes at least twice. I watch it live and then I watch it again at least another one time. Arsenal weren't amazing, but they got the flipping job done and they beat one of the top sides. I think they'll win this one as well, which will really release a lot of the pressure that's currently on Arteta. Do I think they'll field a similar team to what they did against Chelsea? Maybe not because of making changes. I think they'll win 3-1 again. Burnley versus Sheffield United at Turf Moor. This one has recipe for boredom written all over it. Not gonna lie, Burnley don't play the best stuff. Sheffield United are the worst team in the Premier League this season. I think there'll be goals because I think there might be a few tired legs in there which could create some opportunities, but I don't see there being enough quality in this game. I'm going to say 1-1 between Burnley and Sheffield United. Looking at the list, we've then got Southampton versus West Ham United. Southampton got themselves a draw away at Fulham. West Ham bounced back from that defeat to Chelsea with a 2-2 draw at home to Brighton. And this could be another close game. I think it could be won by a single goal. And I'm going to say that West Ham will go to Southampton and get a 1-0 win. It'll be a good result for them. Both teams are kind of like in the middle of the table, looking towards Europa League places, need a good run of form in order to get to those spots in the table. West Ham to win 1-0 away. Now this is a very interesting battle indeed. At the Hawthorns a couple weeks ago, I'd have said that this one would have been a 4-3 Leeds away win. I don't think it could be that this time with Sam Allardyce in charge. We saw, and I discussed it in my 10 things we learned from the Premier League games with West Brom's draw at Liverpool, that West Brom are now going to be a very difficult team to beat. Leeds, we know that they concede a lot of chances, they create a lot of chances, but this could be a game where super old school, tactical, part the bus, defend versus the wonderful, I don't quite get it yet, Bielsa tactics at Leeds. But I think it will cancel each other out. I think there'll be a few goals. I think 2-2, maybe, could be 3-3, who knows with Leeds United, you never know. It was only 1-0 at the weekend, but then again, that was against Burnley, and that's a bit predictable as well. West Brom 2, Leeds 2. Now another very interesting game at Old Trafford, Manchester United versus Wolves. Wolves have been picking up some good results over the Christmas period. They've become difficult to beat again, they've scored a couple of late goals, they keep going right until the end. Against the United side, who they're still conceding goals, but they're doing well. They're flying high in the top 4 at the moment. This could be a tough one for them. And we've seen that a lot of the big teams have been struggling against some of the more mid to upper range, mid-table sides recently. And I think there could be some goals in this game. And I think it could finish 2-2, the same as the West Brom game, which would be a good result for my team, Chelsea. Good result for Wolves again, away from home, as they look to really consolidate themselves, moving towards the Europa League places. We then finish the round of Premier League games with Spurs versus Fulham. Fulham have been playing well recently. Spurs have not been playing well at all. 2 points from their last 4, as I keep on repeating, because I just find it crazy that everyone's still saying about how great Spurs are, but how bad Chelsea are, even though Chelsea are technically, point for point, in better form than Tottenham are. This is a must-win for Spurs. They've really fallen off the pace. They were top of the league, and now they're not even in the top 4. As for Fulham, things are looking up for them, but they've got to start converting points into wins. And they'll go to this game knowing that a point would actually be a good result. But I think Spurs are going to bounce back. I think with all of the football that's being played, Spurs have got a bigger squad, a better squad. And I think they're going to comfortably beat Fulham. I think it'll finish 4-0 to Tottenham, bouncing back with a win. And the final game is a big one at St James's Park, Newcastle versus champions Liverpool. Now this, with Matip's injury for Liverpool in that draw against West Brom, it's going to be a makeshift defence again for them. And for some weird reason, I've got a feeling that Steve Bruce is going to do one here. We always see it that they pick up a load of bad results, don't play so well, and then all of a sudden Newcastle come out with a good result against a team that they probably shouldn't be beating. I'm going to say Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Blowing the Premier League wide open again. That rounds up this Premier League predictions video. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Very excited to watch all of this football. There could be some surprises in there because of all the minutes of football being played. And then in a couple of days' time again, we got even more Premier League football. So expect 10 things we learn and Premier League predictions in just a couple of days. Thank you guys for watching. See you all later.